anything and everything that humans connect with have a storytelling angle in it, right? Whether it's movies, whether it's songs, whether it's social media for that matter,
Right.
everybody is telling a story, and which is what humanizes a brand as well. So, and I take pride. It's like seeing your baby grow, and whenever I'm at a restaurant and at the table next to you, when they're saying, "Oh, I'm going to pay with Dine Out or Swiggy Dine Out," the amount of happiness that goes through me is immense. Let me give you this example of grocery delivery, right? Like our
Mm-hmm.
mothers were staunch believers of going downstairs, going to a market, haggling with your vendor and getting a dhania and limbu free with every time you do grocery shopping,
Right.
right? We've moved beyond hotels. We're now looking at a lot more privacy and convenient options of holidaying, for that matter, right? So I feel like Zoomcar is literally the Airbnb of cars.
Welcome to Icons Behind Brands. Hi, I'm your host, Devlina Nyogi, and today we have the pleasure of delving into the captivating world of branding with Ms. Bhagyashree Rewatkar. With over a decade of experience and collaborations with renowned brands like NIVEA, Pepsi, and Flipkart, Bhagyashree brings a wealth of insights to the table. As a director of brand marketing at Zoomcar, she's shaping the landscape of brand innovation. So join us as we uncover the secrets behind building iconic brands and learn from her experiences. So let's dive in. A very warm welcome to you, Bhagyashree, on Icons Behind Brands.
Thank you so much, Devlina. Very happy to be here.
If you help us understand about your journey and background so far, and then we will, move ahead and we'll dig little more towards your expertise and experiences in the brand marketing side as well.
I
Oh,
started my journey on the advertising agency side. That's where I got to work with quite a bunch of brands, helping them launch their presence in the digital media space. And it was a really, really exciting journey because the excitement, the fun of working across multiple brands at the same time, and especially at the onset of digital, right? So it was a really amazing experience. Started my journey on the brand side. I worked with firstcry.com. Post that I was with eBay, Flipkart,
mhm.
Dine Swiggy, and now Zoomcar. So it's been a very, very uh, uh, amazing experience working with a varied bunch of brands. But overall, I think e-commerce as the space and mobile commerce as a space is something that has always excited me, and that's the path of being in the last few years at least. So yeah.
11, 12 years of experience working with diverse range of brands like Zoomcar, Swiggy, Nivea, 7-Up, Pepsi, and so on, and many more, right? So, over the period of time, what lessons have you learned about, uh, mm, building brands which are like memorable and at the same time sustainable as well?
Lesson. So every time I've worked with a new brand or
Mhm.
started my journey with them, the first thing I've always done is knowing who the right audience is.
Okay.
Second, I feel something that again I observed and I truly believe in is creating a consistency in your communication. Right?
Okay.
We've seen some of the most iconic brands like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Cadbury, etc. Right?
Right.
They've had, the communication has been very, very consistent, and they've continued to create that sort of storytelling and narration over and above their ethos, right? So
Correct.
it's really important that you create that consistency in communication. Otherwise, you're going to leave your audience really confused and thinking, "Oh, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what this brand is about, or I don't know why I should stand for this brand." Especially given the fact that a lot of consumers today are moving towards brand preferences. They're a very,
Right.
very smart audience, given the access to digital compared to our previous generation, which heavily just relied on TV and newspapers, right?
Right.
So with the availability of knowledge, easy availability, like just one tap, right? People are getting smarter, and it's important that you adapt to these changing trends. You invest in brand advocacy. I think that's something that is absolutely, absolutely essential, which is why we see influencer marketing
Yes.
become what it is today. Knowing your audience, consistency in communication, adapting to different changing trends, whether it's media, whether it's mental models of users, etc. And lastly, of course, investing in brand advocacy is something that I have definitely learned in the past, from my past experiences.
While creating a brand, storytelling is very important. So can you discuss the role of storytelling in brand marketing, and how do you ensure that brand narratives resonates with the consumers and leave a very lasting impressions about brand?
Anything and everything that humans connect with have a storytelling angle in it, right? Whether it's movies, whether it's songs, whether it's social media for that matter,
Right.
everybody is telling a story, and which is what humanizes a brand as well. So which is why I feel like that's the role that sort of storytelling plays in brand marketing. And I also feel like it's a core differentiator from one brand to the other, right? There's a very big reason why Zomato is different from a Swiggy, why
Yes.
Adidas is different from a Nike. There's a very big difference between Coke and a Pepsi, for that matter, also, right? So, and the fundamental of each of these brands is the way they do storytelling, right?
Hmm.
It's the differentiation in how you're narrating, how you're crafting your messages, how you're what is the brand persona that you're building,
Mhm.
right? And therefore then creating those emotional connections with your audiences. That's the role that storytelling does.
How do you see the car sharing marketplace now evolving in the next 5 to 10 years, considering the factors such as, advancement of technologies, changes in the consumer behavior, and of course the regulatory developments? So, how do you
Yeah.
see this market?
I've spent 5 years in the restaurant industry, right?
Oh,
I was building Dine Out, and I had taken a pledge when I joined Dine Out. I didn't know about it, but I had made a decision that when I leave Dine Out, I will make sure that everybody around me knows
oh,
what Dine Out.
wow,
Uh,
amazing.
and I take pride. It's like seeing your baby grow. And whenever I'm at a restaurant and at the table next to you, when they're saying, "Oh, I'm going to pay with Dine Out or Swiggy Dine Out," the amount of happiness that goes through me is immense, right? So
Lovely.
that was the similar reason why I chose Zoomcar. I feel like Zoomcar really created the whole self-drive ecosystem in India, right? They were the
Yeah,
pioneers in it.
correct.
And they built a really amazing brand early on, but in the last 4 5 years, especially after COVID, right, which was a very transformative period for a lot of brands. Um, some what I feel is that Zoomcar did not have that much of top of mind recall or brand presence per se, right? And I really wanted to take that up as a challenge and say that, you know what, this is something that I love doing, and I do very strongly believe in this ecosystem, because rental is the way forward, right? We follow so many
Yes,
finance influencers, and we're breaking the monotony of your typical investments, right? Like we're
correct.
going beyond everything to smarter mutual funds and stock and cryptos and the likes of it, right? But and especially with the fact that as compared to our parents, right, who were stationary, they've built their life in one city and they very rarely moved. Our generation, on the other hand, is moving so frequently.
Yes,
To look at Airbnb, right? We've moved beyond hotels. We're now looking at a lot more privacy and convenient options of holidaying, for that matter, right? So I feel like Zoomcar is literally the Airbnb of cars. And they were the ones who pioneered this. And we are now into a marketplace post-COVID where there are local hosts who are sharing their cars, and which increases the landscape of the car choices that you have. The fact that, you're literally like, imagine like if you have a Creta in Bombay, you travel to Bangalore for work, you can get a Creta and feel like you just stepped out of your car and you're in a new city and you're back in your car again, right? So that's the kind of convenience and freedom and flexibility that Zoomcar provides. And that's exactly the need of the hour today. Consumers are moving in that space and are looking for um, elevated experiences.
Do you see there is a huge mind shift also happening, not only in the metro, but in the other cities as well, Bhagyashree?
Oh, of course. I think mental models changing is something that I've personally observed across industries. Like, I know your question is about Zoomcar, but let me give you this example of grocery delivery, right? Like, our mothers were staunch believers of going downstairs, going to a market, haggling with your vendor, and getting a dhania and limbu free with every time you do grocery shopping, right? Today, even in tier 2, tier 3 cities, the amount of grocery deliveries, because of convenience, e-commerce in general, right? The fact that you can shop at a click, whether it's a clothing item you want, whether it's shoes you want, or groceries, or even food delivery for that matter, right? And we are seeing that landscape change so much. So I think people are focusing more towards convenience, and anything and everything that provides convenience is something that people are very happy to adopt to. People are moving beyond that whole mental model of owning a car and feeling very stuck when they have to travel, and haggling for rickshaws, etc. Right? You have Ola, Ubers today. Similarly, today you have Zoomcar. People are looking for unexplored destinations. Right? We had the Maldives situation recently, and our Prime Minister also said our government encourages looking inward rather than outward for amazing travel experiences. Now, guess what? You don't have to only go to a Shimla when you want to have the hills experience, right? There are so many smaller places like Bir and Coorg, or even further destinations, which we often see a lot on What's Hot Bangalore and What's Hot Delhi and What's Hot Bombay, who are recommending.
How do you see the opportunities and challenges for a leader in this marketing and advertising industry, and how do you plan to navigate these challenges in your role?
I think the question and the answer keeps changing literally every week for marketers, right? Brand marketing was all about creating TV films, TV ads, right? And with digital, everything's changed, and everything keeps changing so frequently as well, right? The way people are using different channels, I don't know anybody in my circle anymore who uses a TV without an OTT, like the typical traditional way of TV, right? Even my parents have moved to an OTT for that matter now. So they're not doing brand marketing just from the point of making TV films or making print ads for newspapers, right? The landscape has changed so much. The media planning in its own is such a complicated task today, wherein even within digital, there are so many changes, and especially with AI coming into the picture, right? I think it's both an opportunity and a challenge, because you really have to navigate through the quick changes that are coming in with AI and machine learning, and um, moving as fast in that pace with your efforts as well, both from a storytelling point and a media planning point, right? So I feel that's one space which I truly see a lot of opportunity there. The other I feel is storytelling also, right? The way people typically made ads, it's become such a saturation, there's like a fatigue, like ad fatigue. There's a channel saturation that is happening, and people, like, even when they're scrolling, people get annoyed with ads, like nobody loves that anymore. unless it's an ad that you really love to watch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Something which I love this agency, by the way, Moonshot. Yeah, Moonshot.
Okay.
They've Tanmay Bhatt. I think these guys are doing some really kick-ass ads, especially the Ranveer Singh one that just
Oh yeah.
launched
Yeah.
for healthcare. Until and unless you're doing that crazy, creative, out of the box storytelling, people are not interested in seeing ads. People saw
Yeah.
cred ads.
Yeah.
They didn't understand what cred was, but
Yeah.
people loved watching ads, right? It was a joy to see. So
Right.
I feel like a smarter, like a really smarter, sharper way of really doing that unique, differentiated storytelling so that you stand out, and some innovations with data-driven insights, right? I think that's definitely the way forward for marketing leaders. I'll give you one very interesting example. We did this at Dine Out, and this is, I think it's been some 3-4 years now, but it was definitely a very, very innovative thing. And I'm very proud of this thing that we did. So at Dine Out, what we were trying to do was we were trying to create some very targeted ads, right? And everybody was behind personalization and all of it, right? So what we did was, now I didn't want to use a tool which created those segmented ads, right? There are a couple of tools now that there's who create these. They change the way a model is speaking and deliver uh, content which is very crafted and specialized for
Okay.
you.
Okay.
But what we did was, if I wanted to target majority of the audience in the in the sharpest way possible, we figured that India has a lot of common names,
Okay.
right? Everybody knows an Aditya, everybody knows an Abhishek, everybody knows a Pooja, everybody knows um, these names, right? And we just identified the top 10 names, and we went back to data and we
Okay.
checked how many of the users, how many of our Dine Out users were falling in with those names. Data that we received was mind blowing. Obviously, like the majority of our consumers did fall on those under those name segments. All we did was, when we were shooting a brand film with Kusha Kapila, right? We
Okay.
asked Kusha to just do like a starting, hi Aditya, hi Bhagish, hi Abhishek, hi Ankit, etc. And the rest of the ad was the same, right?
Okay.
So stitch these ad together, and then we did cohorted ads. So if
Okay.
all the Aditya saw the ad which with hi Aditya, all the Abhisheks saw an ad with hi Abhishek, etc. And people loved it.
Okay.
And
Wow.
even before Rephrase AI, Gyan AI came into picture, right? And we, without too much technology innovations, just using the core of data and marrying it with logical thinking and creative thinking, we sort of delivered this ad. And that's something then which we started a lot of other brands start doing, of course with the help of tools, etc. But it was such a quick win and such an easy,
Yeah.
like it was a solution out there.
So how do you approach the talent development and mentorship within your organization? And what strategies do you employ to nurture the future of the generation, like the future leaders?
I was obsessed with managing my tasks and being very specific about getting things done, in doing things in a certain way, right?
Okay.
When I started my journey on being a team leader, I just couldn't rely on people, because you're so used to doing things
Yeah.
a certain way, and it becomes a habit. And now you have to not do everything by yourself. You have to divide all of these tasks and opportunities, right? And with team, and have that faith. So it's literally like you leave some breadcrumbs and trust the person to actually come back and do it. A couple of times it's going to fail and it's going to shatter your faith in this whole leadership ecosystem, right? But trust me, it takes time. It takes a lot of patience to
Yeah.
believe, trust in people, and get things done, right? In the past few years and also at Zoomcar, one of the ways that I try to nurture talent and grow their skill sets and create opportunities for them also is that from the day one when I hire them, I tell them that, okay, look, this is going to be your role, but I'm going to throw anything and everything that comes your way. And think of it as learning a swimming lesson, right? You've seen people throw in, the instructors will usually throw you in the swimming pool, and that's how you start to learn, right? I'm sure the instructor is also like skipping a heartbeat when he's throwing one of his the trainees, right? So that's the same thought and the same fear that we also have as leaders, but that's the only way to learn, to be very honest.
Right. Superb. So, Bhagyashree, with this, now we are moving towards a section called Rapid Fire Round. It's a fun round, very simple, but at the same time, not too formal. It allows our viewers to know you as a person a little more. Okay, so the rules are we need to answer in one word or as minimum word as possible. So, are we good to go?
I think so.
Superb. So,
Let's go.
Bhagyashree, tell me what has been your favorite age so far?
The first time I started working. Yeah.
Perfect. And what has changed the most since you have started working here? I know it's just like a while, but what has changed the most?
My patience levels.
What advice would you give an employee on their first day of work?
Don't change the world on the first day.
Right.
Just grab what you.
If you could not work in this industry, what profession would you pursue?
I think I could have been a sports person.
And when are you most productive?
In the night. I'm a night owl.
Oh. What would you change about yourself if given a chance?
I am actually working on it. It's to be a lot more patient. Every marketer is a really fire person, right?
Yeah.
And because of that fire, there's a lot of impatience as well. But I think being wiser with time and experience is a very fundamental thing to that is being patient, and the ability to listen and not give a response right away. So that's something that I'm working on.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh, you're going to do so much. You're going to have so much fun and amazing things. Don't be scared. You'll be fine.
So, what is your message for an aspiring marketing professional?
I think just hang in there. I know it feels a lot, and it feels a little overwhelming as well. Will I know digital? Will I know brand? Will I be able to write a script? Will I be able to write a copy? Will I be able to create a media plan? Will I be able to work with senior leaders and be in their good books at the same time, etc.? All of that eventually is something that you will unravel one milestone at a time. So hang in there, be patient, be consistent. Being a marketer is the most important thing is having that fire, the fire to learn, the fire to grow, the fire to unlearn and learn again.
Relearn.
So
perfect. Superb, amazing, points we have gathered from this conversation, Bhagyashree. Thank you so much, Bhagyashree. It means a lot. Yeah.
आई एम श्योर कि आपको ये वीडियो बहुत ही इंसाइटफुल एंड इन्फॉर्मेटिव लगा होगा. लेट अस नो इन द कमेंट सेक्शन विच पार्ट ऑफ द वीडियो यू लव द मोस्ट. हम ऐसे ही इंडिया के टॉप बिजनेस ब्रांड सीक्रेट्स आपके पास लाते रहते हैं. प्लीज डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू सब्सक्राइब आवर चैनल आइकन्स बिहाइंड ब्रांड्स. एंड दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे. आई एम देवलीना नियोगी साइनिंग ऑफ. अंटिल नेक्स्ट टाइम.